KMTV 3 News Now this morning.
After weeks of asking those who can to stay home, we're starting to see some positive results of social distancing. We'll tell you what one local expert is saying about the numbers peaking in Nebraska. And are you looking for something to do and an excuse to get out of the house? How about some fireworks? We'll tell you where you can catch a free show. And a winter wonderland in April. All of a sudden, Mother Nature says, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, and well, as you can see, snow it did. Good morning, I'm Courtney Johns. Today is Friday, April 17th. We'll have a look at this morning's top stories in just a moment, but first, we're going to begin with a check of our forecast with Weather Alert Team meteorologist Mark Stitz. And Mark, you were showing, I think it was the Creighton campus earlier.
Yeah.
And it just looked so beautiful with all that nice light little blanket of snow.
I know, especially it was that wet snow, so it stuck to all the trees, the branches, the shrubs, everything that was finally turning green, now just white.
I know. When I was walking the dog, there are a couple trees in our area that the flowers are kind of budding on the trees. And so it was a little heartbreaking. I hope they'll make it. I'm sure they will to a certain extent, but it is kind of nice to see a little blanket.
Yeah, same thing. I think it's outside. I always forget how to pronounce it. The Gavilan building or Gavilan company.
Gotcha.
They have some of those really flowery trees right now along their sidewalks, and they were looking really nice before the snow yesterday. So we'll see how they hold up. But yeah, plenty of that wet snow came down last night as well. And again, finally, getting the last few flurries and little light snow out of here. Some of that right now stretching across I-80 in western Iowa, maybe bringing a couple flurries to us in the metro. But again, for the worst part, the snow is over. Still a lot of clouds out there, but those will be clearing over the next few hours, and then we get to enjoy a lot of sunshine then through the rest of the day. And speak of the devil, Courtney, there it is, Creighton. Yes, looks good. Lots of white out there. And again, it was one of those nice snows where it stuck to everything, kind of but the roads and sidewalks for the most part. Again, I know there were some exceptions to that, but you can kind of see the sidewalks nice and clear through campus, even though there's nobody on campus. But hey, it still looks nice either way. 30 degrees though at Epley Airfield just to the north, so watch for a few leftover slick spots out there since temperatures are below freezing. Millard, you're right at freezing. Bellevue, one below it, and Council Bluffs a little cooler right now at 28. So here's your emojis over the next few days. Emoji Man getting his sunglasses back out. Finally, the sunshine returns today, and it will start to warm things up and melt the snow. But Saturday and Sunday looking great, so he is thrilled about some warmer weather. Finally, temperatures closer to average for this time of year, but Saturday will be a little bit windy, but again, that's pumping in that warmer air. We'll let you know what to expect then early next week and more detailed look at your weekend forecast in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Mark. And if you're ready to get out, head outside, there are still some slick roads in our area, so be sure to take it easy. Let's take a look at the current road conditions from the Nebraska Department of Transportation. Okay, so the blue you see there, those are streets that are partially covered. Pink means it's completely covered, and the green that you see is normal or wet. Several dozen snowplows continue to clear the way to make sure everyone is safe out there. And local businesses are already doing what they can to get through these difficult times. The snow yesterday did not make things any easier for them. 3 News Now reporter Ruta Olsonida has more on how these businesses are facing challenge after challenge and still coming out strong.
Small businesses have had to make a lot of changes recently, many moving operations outside. Restaurants offering curbside pickup, urgent care clinics seeing patients from their cars. Then things got a little tougher on Thursday.
Good news is we're already in fighting shape for adaptability.
The snow created less than ideal conditions for businesses already doing what they can. Hardy Coffee Co. on 30th and Lake still offered their signature baked goods and coffee. They've moved operations to curbside pickup and takeout.
Just give us a call and we can make their drink to order and run it out to the car.
And they, like a lot of businesses, have found a system to stay afloat as their inside seating remains closed. The snow coming down in the middle of April was just one more hurdle they had to get over.
The pathway to the vehicles for curbside, it's just one more obstacle in a already crazy time. So
Crossroads Urgent Care recently moved their operations outside as well to better protect patients and staff. The snow isn't stopping them either.
We're still fully open, ready to go. It's just a little colder than we expected.
Because in times like these, it's nice to remember that we're all in this together and we will get through it.
Hang in there, we're all going to make it through this together. It takes us all trying and working hard, and we'll make it.
One baked good or coffee, at a time.
If the coffee that we make and the baked goods that we make provide even just a little bit of that rhythm and somebody's stay-at-home day, then we love to bring that sense of normalcy to a really chaotic time.
Reporting in Omaha, Rudolph Sinaida, 3 News Now.
And here's what we know about the coronavirus numbers in our area. The number of cases has now surpassed 1,000. Currently, there are 1,066 cases and 25 deaths. In Iowa, there are 2,141 confirmed cases and 60 deaths. But there is some good news. According to a new model from UNMC, the state of Nebraska could see significantly fewer deaths from COVID-19 than previous estimates. The director of public health at UNMC said a key factor in predicting COVID-19 deaths is the daily increase in the number of cases when it hits its peak, which should happen later this month. The updated prediction is 50 to 180 deaths. Earlier predictions were close to 500.
What people have been doing in this state has been making a difference. So right away it was very clear that the number of deaths, no matter when the peak was likely to happen in this state, was much lower than what others had been predicting in numerous other models. So that was refreshing that, okay, what we were doing was making a difference.
Governor Ricketts added they will continue to monitor a number of issues through the end of the month. At that time, it may be a one step at a time process for reopening the state. Their biggest priority is to not overwhelm the healthcare system. And earlier in the day, Governor Ricketts hit on a number of topics during his coronavirus response update. He talked about what's being done to protect workers while keeping meat processing plants open. He says he's pulling together industry leaders to share best practices to contain the virus inside the plants. He also talked about testing in the state and the process for opening schools next fall. Reporter John Kipper has the details.
Students won't be returning to school in Nebraska anytime soon, and questions remain on how long that may be. Commissioner Matt Bloomstead said at Governor Ricketts' press conference on Thursday that he, along with state education leaders, are planning for the possibility of summer school going remote, just like much of spring semester already has.
Trying to come up with a scalable summer school program, digital materials and otherwise, and I know the governor and I have talked about ensuring broadband access for students.
And it's unclear just what will happen in the fall.
And we have to be prepared that there might be needs for contingency plans and otherwise.
Whether schools can come back depends on COVID-19 being contained statewide. Governor Ricketts says they're beginning to contain the outbreak in Grand Island, but said more work needs to be done.
I've reached out to the major employers in Grand Island. I've asked them to give me what are their plans, what have they done to be able to help keep their folks healthy and safe. What kind of communication are they doing to their teammates to let them know about things like, hey, if you're sick, you need to stay home, and everybody in your household needs to stay home.
Ricketts has ramped up testing in Hall County, but has had trouble increasing it statewide, saying the state has problems getting reagents. When asked if it would be better for President Donald Trump and the federal government to take over for the states, Ricketts says no, worried Nebraska would get lost in the shuffle.
Because of the early steps we took, we are not seeing the same impact as states like New York, and so my concern is if we just were totally dependent on the federal government, states like Nebraska may not get a high priority.
Reporting in Lincoln, John Kipper, 3 News Now.
Up 52%.
For weeks, we've been asked to stay at home, work at home, and the hardest part, spend our weekends in the house. Well, 3 News Now reporter Danielle Davis has a reason for you to get out of the house, buckle up, and have some fun. Danny, we need to have more things like this where people can keep their distance and have a good time.
Yes, Courtney, absolutely. Now, as you know, I'm not from the area, so I was really looking forward to exploring Omaha. But this weekend, I will get to knock one place off of my to-do list, and that's Warner Park, and I will not be breaking any social distancing rules. While you won't get to see a ball game at Warner Park this Saturday, you will get to enjoy a community-wide fireworks display. The Omaha Storm Chasers hope you come out of the house, but stay in your car and enjoy the show.
This is the 20th year of our partnership with J&M Displays. They are tripling the amount of fireworks and the size of the fireworks. Normally we shoot 2- and 3-inch shells for our normal Friday night shows. But in this case, we're shooting upwards of 5- and 6-inch shells. That way they can go higher into the air and more people up and down and more families up and down 370, Giles, Harrison, and even Q Street will be able to see the fireworks from a distance.
But there are some safety protocols you have to follow.
one family per car. They're not carpooling. If trucks do come on site, you'll have to stay in your truck cab. You can't get in your truck bed. There's no tailgating. There's no getting out and walking around. We have no restrooms. We have no concessions. We have no merchandise. People are missing their sports. They're missing their baseball, and this gives people an opportunity to stay engaged at the ballpark.
The parking lot can hold anywhere from 600 to 800 cars. You keep the windows rolled up and tune your radio to 104.5 The Star and enjoy the musical tribute that goes along with the fireworks display. Now you will park in the north lot, lots F3 to F5. The event is free on Saturday night. Now the parking lot opens at about 8 p.m. with the fireworks starting at about 8:30, and it will be a 12-minute, they tell me, spectacular show. This is Danielle Davis, 3 News Now This Morning. Courtney, back to you.
Yeah, it certainly does sound spectacular. Thank you so much, Danny. Many of us had to dig out our snow gear after temperatures in the 80s last week, but it's always good to have one more fun day of snow, right? Well, take a look at this picture sent to us from Treasure Rasmussen. The family spent the day rolling snow into a mega roll of toilet paper. We'll get that shot up in a second. It'll be sure to grab the attention of neighbors and passerbys. It looks like we're having some technical difficulties on that, so if it doesn't pop up, I'll share it on Twitter and Facebook as well. Mark, you saw it. You got a kick out of it.
Yeah, it was a really good roll of giant toilet paper.
It was huge.
Yeah, it looked really good too. Like it was not just like, oh, here's a big pile and we're going to call it toilet paper. It was like, it really looked like toilet paper.
Yeah, it was really impressive. Very creative. I liked that.
Yeah, it was nice. And we saw some other good stuff too coming in from yesterday's snow. Is that good wet stuff. You could kind of make anything out of it you wanted to.
Yeah, very creative people out there. Well, still to come on 3 News Now this morning, we talk with the owner of a small business and find out why the Paycheck Protection Program is not working for him and many others.
And watch for leftover slick spots out there this morning as temperatures have dipped back below freezing, especially on untreated roadways. But those treated roads pretty much just wet out there to start the day. You can see snow-covered buildings in downtown Omaha, but we're going to be melting away that snow very quickly over the next couple of days as we warm things back up. Full weekend forecast coming up.
You're watching KMTV 3 News Now with Courtney Johns, Maya Sines, and weather with meteorologist Mark Stitz. This is KMTV 3 News Now this morning. This weather alert forecast sponsored by Elite Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and storm damage.
Still a few leftover pockets of light snow moving through Iowa and the western edge of the state, but most of it has pushed over towards Des Moines. This is that last little band about to pass through Atlantic once again as it pushes on out of here. But again, the rest of us are finally done with the snow. A few clouds still left over, but those will clear out very quickly through the rest of this morning. Now, check out these snowfall totals, though. Ashland getting about 9 inches, Ralston 8.5, Columbus and Midtown Omaha around 8, 7 inches in Clarinda, Iowa, and other places in Iowa. You can see also some decent snow totals. Trainer at 5 inches, Shenandoah, same thing. And then Valley, officially at the National Weather Service, getting 3.5, and Lincoln there in the bottom left, 6.5. Now, I think a lot of these snowfall totals were probably measured on things like backyard decks. Those things cooled off a lot more quickly than the grassy areas. So in the grassy areas where you typically measure the snow, that melted more away and those snow totals were lower. So that's probably why Valley, where they do measure it in the grassy areas, was a little bit lower. But again, some of those backyard patios definitely did collect a whole lot of snow on them as they cooled off much more quickly. So either way, a lot of snow out there yesterday and into the last night hours. All right, temperatures right now, though, we're at 30 in Omaha. Oh, and officially, forgot to say, Epley Airfield looks like we'll be coming in at 5 inches for the snow event officially in Omaha. Anyway, 30 degrees right now in Omaha, 25 in Fremont, and even Columbus down to 20. So again, watch out for a few leftover slick spots, especially in those extra cold places and especially those untreated roadways. The wind this morning around 5 to 15 miles per hour, but continues to lighten up, especially south of I-80, but still enough of a breeze to make it feel like 22 in Omaha. Clarinda, you're feeling like 24 along with Falls City, and York feeling like 11. Not only is it extra cold out there, York, but you guys in Columbus dealing with some pretty thick fog. Visibility down to about 1/4 of a mile. You can see some of that light fog between Fremont and Omaha as well. Now, it's going to be mostly sunny the rest of the day. That's great as expected, but a lot of that sunshine now goes to melting the snow it only has so much energy. So we were hoping for low 50s, but now that we have to melt the snow away throughout the day, that's going to hold back our temperatures more than we were expecting for this afternoon. So we have lowered them. Upper 30s by lunchtime, around 46 for an afternoon high at 5 o'clock, and still in the mid 40s at 8 o'clock tonight. So again, no low 50s unless you're in areas like Tacoma, who didn't see much of any snow at all, and other places farther north as well. All right, those wind gusts on Saturday, though, they will be much stronger, around 30 miles per hour. That, though, will be pumping in much warmer air. Only concern with the wind. It looks like it's going to be lightening up Saturday night at that point, but hopefully not going to be too windy for those fireworks at Werner Park. But again, something to keep in mind, but hopefully we can drop those winds down quickly enough to allow those to be safe. Anyway, Sunday the wind will be much lighter, and unfortunately that wind back out of the north behind a cold front, that's going to drop our temperatures a little bit for Sunday, but nothing major. Anyway, today highs near 46, lots of sunshine out there. Overnight tonight gets a little bit breezy with lows near 33, and tomorrow windy and warmer, highs near 64 with mostly sunny skies. The sunshine continues on Sunday, but with that cold front heading through in the morning now, it looks like that will drop us into the upper 50s. The cold front looking a little bit colder than it was a couple days ago, so that's why we have dropped those into the upper 50s to finish the weekend. Monday, though, the warm-up gets back on track into the upper 60s. A couple spotty rain showers Monday, but most of us keep it dry. Tuesday, back to the 70s, and they continue Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday and Thursday also, though, coming with a very slim chance that we'll have to dodge a couple spotty rain showers, but again, keeping those rain chances pretty low for now. But of course, over the weekend, if you want to check back in for the latest forecast and an update on those rain chances next week, download the free Storm Shield app for the latest forecast. You can do that on the App Store and Google Play for free.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, Dr. Tara Narula answers your questions on what the new normal might look like when America reopens. Also, hear why some renowned chefs are very worried about the survival of the restaurant industry. Plus, only on CBS This Morning, a poem by the Youth Poet Laureate to help us find hope and courage in these unsettling times. She's really great. And we continue to remember the lives of those taken from us by the coronavirus. We'll see you at 7.
Back, here's another live look from our Iowa Western camera. You can see we've got a blanket of snow this Friday morning, and it's 30 degrees outside. Be sure to give yourself a little extra time before you head out this morning because some of the roads are a little slippery this morning. Time now is 6:22. Billions of dollars in help is on the way for small businesses and their employees who have been shut down by COVID-19. But consumer reporter John Matarese explains why getting that help is not as easy as it might seem, so you don't waste your money.
If you work for a small business, the government wants to pay your employer to keep you on the job or bring you back if you were recently laid off. It's a great plan in theory, but some business owners say it's not quite working yet.
Get it ready to go.
Don Stewart has been repairing cars for more than 30 years. His employees are second family to him, but his business dropped off a cliff in March.
I've had to lay off about 5, going on 6 people right now.
Now he hopes to rehire them under the government's new Paycheck Protection Program.
The idea behind the payroll protection program is to bring your employees back, put them back to work.
Even at essential companies like this auto repair shop, Don tells me that business is still down over 50% from the same time last year. And that's why he says they really need some help from the government now. The Paycheck Protection Program is part of the $2 trillion stimulus, supposed to pay workers at small businesses for April and May to keep them off unemployment. But Don's still waiting.
The red tape's still out there. A lot of the local banks, unfortunately, have not gone, and it's not uploaded onto the website yet.
Customer Julian Thompson hopes the shop gets the money soon.
They service all of our vehicles and our vans, and top-notch place.
Don just hopes he'll see the money he needs to keep his men working.
The small business side of it is still kind of in a holding pattern.
The good news, the government will not require companies to pay these loans back as long as they promise not to lay off any more workers. So always don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese for 3 News Now.
And if you have a story idea for our consumer reports, let us know. Send us an email at news@3newsnow.com. Coming up, if you're looking to pick up a new hobby while spending time at home, why not try pottery? We'll tell you what one local business is doing to earn your business.
This weather alert forecast sponsored by Elite Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and storm damage.
Still just some very light snow passing through just a little part of western Iowa along I-80, about to move into the Atlantic area, but shouldn't add much of anything to what's already on the ground. And yes, those snow totals yesterday were impressive, especially across parts of the Omaha metro. But the bulk of the snow moving out now towards Des Moines, eastern parts of Iowa, and even all that quickly falling apart here over the last couple of hours. A lot of cloud cover still left around, but it looks like northeast Nebraska, your skies are already clearing. A little bit of fog out there for you guys, though, in Columbus and York, but other than that, a lot of sunshine to start the day. We'll keep it mostly sunny this afternoon. The problem is we are below freezing in a lot of our cities, just a little bit here in Omaha, around 30, so treated roadways should just be wet, but watch out for a few leftover slick spots in some areas. Low 20s though out towards Columbus, Norfolk coming at 24. And look farther to the west, the Nebraska Panhandle, really cold. Sydney right now coming in at 9 degrees, but low to mid 30s, a little bit more common across the rest of Iowa. Now, as far as our dog of the day, there he is, Nacho. And what's he looking at? A plate of nachos that he's ready to eat there on his table. You may recognize Nacho. This poor guy's been on our little dog of the day a couple times now, still looking for his forever home and his forever family, but enjoying the Nebraska Humane Society in the meantime, but he is looking for that forever family. He is 2 years old, so plenty of energy. We're told he would do best, though, with kiddos who are teenaged or older, and he loves to play with other dogs, but doesn't want to live with other dogs. So if you already have a dog, might want to check out a different option at the Humane Society if you're looking for a second. But again, give Nacho a chance. Poor guy's been there for a little while, looking for that forever home. All right, for the dog walks today, looks like we'll be in the upper 30s at lunchtime, but again, lots of sunshine. When you get home from the office or the grocery store this afternoon, we'll be in the mid 40s, so a little bit cooler thanks to that snow on the ground. And then as we go into the evening hours, back down to low 40s. Just watch out, especially this morning, for a couple slick sidewalks left over from the snow.
This is KMTV 3 News Now, this morning.
Good morning, I'm Courtney Johns. Thanks for starting your day with us. Today is Friday, April 17th, and we'll have a look at this morning's top stories in just a moment. But first, we're going to begin with a check of our forecast with Weather Alert Team meteorologist Mark Stitz. And Mark, it was a doozy the last 24 hours.
I know, Mother Nature exceeding her expectations.
Yes.
Remember we talked about some of those higher snowfall totals we thought would stay just south of I-80? Well, they bumped their way up into Omaha,
yeah,
of course.
what happened to that, Mark?
I don't know.
Came out of nowhere.
Not out of nowhere, just from the south.
Yeah, but it was heavy snow. I mean, it was just,
yeah.
My dog was lunging at them when we went for a walk. Yeah. She was having a blast.
Chip was eating the snow and enjoying the sidewalks, covered in snow yesterday as well. So it looks nice too out there with all that wet snow sticking to the trees and just about everything else outside as well. But again, the snow pretty much coming to an end at this point. Just some light stuff now passing through the Atlantic area, crossing over I-80. But again, all that's kind of moving farther off to the east and will be moving out of here in the next hour or so, hopefully. And again, you can see the clouds, if you look closely, already clearing out of northeast Nebraska. Still some clouds over us in Omaha, but they'll be clearing out over the next couple of hours as well. So lots of sunshine on the way for the rest of our Friday. But again, do want to remind you, if you haven't seen, we do have a decent amount of fog out towards areas like York and Columbus, and it is pretty thick. But look at that amazing shot. This is a live look right now at Creighton University. Just everything covered in white except the sidewalks, which were a little bit warmer. And again, melted most of the snow as it hit, just like most of the roads did. So quite a shot out there. And we'll tweet that out here in just a second. At Blair Airfield, though, 30 degrees. Actually, I'm going to tweet out after I eat a donut, and then I'll tweet out. So maybe like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, depending on how many donuts I decide to eat. Anyway, enough of a breeze to make it feel like 22 degrees, but those winds aren't too strong, and they'll stay fairly light throughout the day. Elkhorn, you're coming at 27. You're one of the cold spots right now in Douglas County. Carter Lake coming in at 30, along with La Vista and Plasma. Springfield, though, down to 29 degrees. All right, as far as your morning commute, given a yellow light, again, most of our temperatures have dipped below freezing, so watch out on especially untreated roads for a few slick spots that are left over, but most of the roads are just wet that have been treated. This afternoon, lots of sunshine. Unfortunately, some of that warmth will go to melting the snow, so it looks like there'll only be enough left over now to get us to about 46. But if you don't have snow on the ground, you guys will easily do some low 50s out there farther up to the north. Courtney?
Thank you, Mark. A man has died in an officer-involved shooting in Blair. The Blair Police Department says they were called to a home near 11th and Adams at about 9:50 p.m. Wednesday over a domestic disturbance call. When officers got there, they say a man approached them with a rifle. During the confrontation, the man was shot. He was taken to the hospital in Blair, where he later died. Nebraska State Patrol is investigating, but no new information has been released. Police have also not identified the man who passed away. And now to the latest on the coronavirus in Nebraska. The number of cases has now surpassed 1,000. Currently, there are 1,066 cases and 25 deaths. Throughout the state, meatpacking workers have tested positive for COVID-19. Those plants have stayed open. Multiple workers from a variety of meat processing plants across Nebraska have told 3 News Now they're scared to go to work and not enough is being done to address social distancing. Governor Pete Ricketts said in his news conference yesterday he's consistently been communicating with JBS in Grand Island, where 10 people have tested positive for the virus. He says he's committed to keeping the plants open, saying they're needed to feed the state and the world. He's also now working with his unified command structure to work with food processing plants.
So we're working to be able to pull together the folks who are in that industry, to be able to share best practices, to offer some of our expertise from the state on what more they could be doing, to be able to put those social distancing kind of practices in place in their workplace. Focus on our social distancing and our 6 rules. We will be back here tomorrow.
Ricketts points to plants like JBS in Grand Island, where they've put up plastic barriers in between workers. Other states, like Colorado, have closed their meat processing facilities. And in Iowa, there are 2,140 confirmed cases and 60 deaths. And starting today, a portion of the state has tighter restrictions. That area is Region 6 in northeast Iowa. After seeing outbreaks at meatpacking plants and long-term care facilities, the governor said all gatherings are prohibited until April 30th. That means people in the area can only interact with people they live with. However, there are a few exceptions, like funerals and weddings. Those gatherings still have the 10-person limit. There are now outbreaks at 9 long-term care facilities throughout Iowa.
Increased testing at this time is critical to not only targeting virus activity and identifying potential risk, but also in implementing specific measures to slow the spread within a facility, business, or community. And also it's going to be critical in making decisions to reopen up our state.
Governor Reynolds says they're working to ramp up their testing so they'll be able to do 3,000 more tests a day. They've also been sending teams to test areas with outbreaks. And 3 people who worked at 2 different Tyson plants in Iowa have died from the coronavirus. Nearly 150 Tyson workers have tested positive at the Columbus Junction plant. 2 of those people died from the virus. The facility has been shut down since the week of April 6th, when the positive cases first were reported. Many workers at the plant are Latino. The League of United Latin American Citizens says more protective measures need to be taken for employees.
When his wife called me, she was crying. I can't believe it. It was hard. Yeah, to hear that, and I get more afraid now because I know he works in Tyson.
They're working in tight spaces at work, elbow to elbow. Some of them aren't given PPEs. There's no shields protecting them between each worker. When they're taking their breaks, they're not staggered, so everybody's taking a break at once, or they're going to the locker rooms all at once.
There's been an outbreak at a Tyson plant in Waterloo as well, with 1 death reported. And there are more grim numbers on the economic impact of the coronavirus. Last week, another 5 million people filed new first-time unemployment claims in America. That brings the total number of new claims to about 22 million in just a month. That number could actually be higher because some states are struggling to keep up with the backlog. In Iowa, the Department of Labor reports just over 46,000 Iowans filed for the first-time unemployment benefits last week. In Nebraska, new unemployment claims have fallen from their recent record highs, but are still far above average from last week with just over 16,000. And Union Omaha was supposed to take the field this month in its first season in Omaha. While soccer is on hold, the team is finding other ways to partner with the community. Nebraska Medicine and CHI Health will be its uniform sponsor for the 2020 season. The organization's logo will be on the front of the jerseys, and a proceed of the sales will go towards healthcare workers. Union Omaha is donating roughly $250,000 to help fight the spread of the coronavirus. CEO Gary Green also donated 45,000 masks to healthcare workers in Nebraska. And the snow isn't all bad, right? Well, Maggie and Josie had some fun yesterday. Take a look. They made snow caterpillars with food coloring. It looks like they got every color in there right there. How cute is that, Mark?
I know, I love it. And again, we were talking earlier, like, how do they get that much food coloring on that much snow? So
Yeah, Maggie and Josie, if you're watching, let us know because we've been scratching our heads about that all morning.
Again, my guess is like you get a bucket of water and put a little food coloring in each bucket and then it's like dump it, but I have no idea.
But that could melt the snow too. So, I mean, I was thinking maybe a spray bottle or something.
Oh, that's,
right?
You're good, Courtney.
I know.
Level 5 snow expert.
Yeah, there we go. Well, still to come on 3 News Now this morning, a Council Bluffs bar and grill closed due to the coronavirus outbreak. Now they're back open, offering free meals and curbside to-go orders.
And a live view of downtown Omaha from our Harris Casino camera. You can see those clouds getting lower and lower, starting to get some fog out there, even across the metro. That's really bad in parts of eastern Nebraska. We'll take a look at that and then talk about some snow melting warmth after the break.
Head to break, we know the coronavirus pandemic means high school seniors will not get traditional graduation ceremonies. So 3 News Now wants to honor the class of 2020. You can help by sending pictures of your senior with their name and high school to the Salute to Seniors link on 3newsnow.com. We'll feature them in an online photo gallery and on air. Speaking of which, here is today's group of seniors. Congratulations to all of them. Welcome back. It's now 6:44. Even though we can't come together in person, we can still come together as a community. KMTV has started a campaign called We're Open Omaha. It's a partnership between us and our local businesses with one goal, getting them through this tough time. Every day, we're shining a light on a business or restaurant that continues to serve our community and our neighborhoods. And this morning, 3 News Now anchor Maya Signs checks out Kicker's Bar and Grill.
Kicker's Bar and Grill in Council Bluffs had to shut down last month due to COVID-19.
We had to close down on St. Patty's Day, and so we had all this corned beef and cabbage the next day. So my sister said, why don't you heat it up and let's put it outside and feed it to whoever would like it. So we did that. We saw there was such a response and such a need that I said, well, let's go ahead and keep continuing it.
While their bar was closed, they opened their arms to those in need, giving away the food they had originally hoped to make a profit with.
When we first had to close down, we took, we probably had like 15 dozen eggs we had to get rid of and so on and so forth. So we made all these food packs and we gave it away to people.
For weeks, they've been feeding anyone who shows up for free, almost 100 meals a day.
Then we make a big bulk of like chicken and dumplings or goulash or soup and salad. And then people pull up, we find out how many they need and we take however many containers out to their vehicle. Some take it to their elderly neighbors, some take it to their mom and their dad, or they take it to people that can't get out of their apartments.
The kindness spread, with people returning the favor.
And we have some people that donate $20 every time they come, and some people donate 50 cents. I had a little guy that had a little sandwich baggie full of change and brought that in. We have one lady that comes in and gets 10 meals every single time, and she takes them to her neighbors. She takes them to somebody down the street from her, an elderly couple, and that's what it's about, because they can help others by us doing this too. So everybody wants to feel needed and feel like they're helping in this time.
Now they're able to continue their daily free meal service from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. through the generosity of others. And since most of the staff is on call for now, manager Cindy Collins says most of them have been volunteering, helping cook and distribute the meals.
We didn't realize the need that's out there for something like this. I mean, I've had people messaging me, will you please, is there any way you can bring us food? We're locked in our apartment. I just had a heart attack, or I've been sick and I can't leave my home and wasn't able to get groceries. And actually my son Marcus, he's actually been my runner. He gets off work and I'm like, hey, will you come down here and deliver some food for me? And he's been great about doing that. But yeah, there's a need. So as long as there's a need, there's probably a way to get it accomplished.
Beyond their free meals, Kickers is now open again for to-go orders with the limited menu you can find on their Facebook page. So if you can, stop by.
I mean, anything helps, even $1. They want to come and have a meal and give me a quarter. You'd be amazed at what we can do with a quarter.
In Council Bluffs, Maya Signs, 3 News Now.
Once again, Kickers Bar and Grill is located at 15th and Avenue C in Council Bluffs, and the hours are listed right there on your screen. You can find more information on it and other open businesses on our webpage under a special section called We're Open Omaha.
This weather alert forecast sponsored by Elite Exteriors, roofing, siding, windows, and storm damage.
Still just a little bit of light snow coming down across the Atlantic area, but that's it in western Iowa. That little thin sliver of snow still out there. It's going to kind of wrap around over towards Des Moines over the next hour, and then we'll be completely done with every single snowflake this system has brought us. Now, still a lot of cloud cover for most of us, but skies beginning to clear some up towards northeast Nebraska, so you guys will start the day with a lot of sunshine. But here in Omaha, it's probably going to take another hour or so for us to get that full sunshine. But again, check out these snowfall totals. Again, some of these probably measured on things like backyard decks or patios that got colder more quickly during yesterday's weather, and they therefore had larger snow totals on them as opposed to grassier areas that did melt more of that snow. So that's why Valley, where they do measure on the ground, only came in at 3.5 inches. But again, some of those backyard patios really added up. Ashland, 9 inches. Ralston, Columbus, over 8, along with Midtown Omaha. Clarinda, Inglewood, around 7 inches. Other places in Iowa topping 5 inches, as you can see as well. Lincoln there on the bottom left at 6.5 inches. And it looks like officially Omaha will come in at 5 inches from Epley Airfield. Still below average, though, for the entire season, but only by a few inches now. Whereas yesterday, obviously, we were about 8 inches below average for the season. Anyway, temperatures out there right now, 29 in Omaha, so enough below freezing that there could still be a few leftover slick spots on the roadways, especially untreated areas and parking lots. So be careful out there, but a lot of those treated roads like the interstates are just wet. A little bit cooler up towards northeast Nebraska, low to mid 20s, low 30s more common as you head farther south of I-80. The winds this morning around 5 to 10 miles per hour, so they've lightened up, but enough of a breeze to make it feel more like 23 right now in Red Oak and Omaha. Columbus feeling like 12 degrees, so you'll want to bundle up out there, even though the winds are not too strong. It's just cold on its own. Now again, parts of the Omaha Metro are seeing a little bit of worse fog, especially just up to the north along the county border. But Fremont and Omaha, 4 miles of visibility, but we continue to see that lower as the clouds get lower as well. So even some of that fog now spreading into western Iowa. But look at York, Columbus, still about a quarter of a mile or less of visibility due to some of that thick fog out there. Now temperatures today are going to be a little bit lower than expected. That's because we have more snow on the ground than expected. So more of that sunshine will go towards melting the snow instead of warming up the air. So we have had to lower the numbers for today. But at lunchtime, we're back into the upper 30s. It looks like this afternoon we'll top out near 46. But again, we were hoping for low 50s earlier in the week. Anyway, you can see a live view of Creighton University there, covered in snow, and above it, those winds for Saturday going to be strong, but they're out of the south, pumping in warmer air. The wind that will be much lighter on Sunday. So today, highs near 46, lots of sunshine. Overnight, we fall to 33, and then tomorrow afternoon, windy and warmer, highs near 64. A weak cold front drops us into the upper 50s for Sunday, but then we warm back up early next week, upper 60s Monday, and back into the mid 70s by the middle of next week. Just some very minor chances of rain next week as well. But of course, for the updated forecast over the weekend, check back in with us anytime. Just do so by downloading the free Storm Shield app for Apple and Android smartphones and tablets.
Coming up, the latest guidelines from the White House. What will the new normal look like? Plus, celebrated chefs battling insurance companies.
We need help
as the restaurant industry fights to stay alive. Coming up on CBS This Morning.
And before we go, here's a look at some of the stories we'll be following for you today. We have the 4-in-1 on 3newsnow.com and our social media sites. A winter wonderland in April. Much of the metro area is covered in snow after several hours of the white stuff started falling Thursday afternoon. Crews are keeping most of the roads in the area clear, but there are still some slick spots out there, so take your time and be sure to follow meteorologist Mark Stitz. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember my own co-anchor's name. Mark Stitz on Twitter for his weekend forecast. And according to new modeling from UNMC, the state of Nebraska could see significantly fewer deaths from COVID-19 than previous estimates. The director of public health at UNMC says a key factor in predicting COVID-19 deaths is when the daily increase in the number of cases hits its peak, which should happen later this month. The updated prediction is 50 to 180 deaths. Earlier predictions were close to 500. And we should learn more today about this year's Nebraska State Fair. This will be the 151st State Fair, which is scheduled for August 28th through September 7th. The Fair Board meets later today. One topic expected to be addressed is the need for over 800 volunteers for this year's State Fair. And if you need an excuse to get out this weekend, why not head to Werner Park in Papillion? The Omaha Storm Chasers are sponsoring a night of free fireworks. You can start lining up at 8 with fireworks set to start at 8:30. Music to the fireworks will be simulcast on Star 104.5, and you can get more information on this story by following our 3 News Now reporter Danielle Davis on Twitter. And you could say a man in Des Moines is a dedicated runner. So dedicated, he's not letting the coronavirus outbreak stop him from running a marathon. Mark Nyans will run 26.2 miles inside his apartment unit Sunday morning to raise money for the city's disaster recovery fund. He has run 20 races and was originally scheduled to run a race on this Sunday. Instead, what he's going to do, get this, he will run up and down his hallway in his apartment unit 1,800 times and live stream the event, all while interacting with people on social media. I wonder what his neighbors think about all of that, Mark.
I know. I pray that man does not live above me.
Maybe he's a light jogger. Or maybe, you know, my apartment, it's really thick walls, so maybe they won't hear. Or maybe he'll start hearing people pound up on their ceiling after a while.
Or the person below him will be like, I will give you $1,000 to stop running.
Maybe just do some sit-ups or something.
Yeah. All right, Debbie. Well, things looking good out there this afternoon. A little bit warmer compared to yesterday. At lunchtime, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 30s and then mid 40s to finish off the afternoon. Again, we were hoping for low 50s today. That will not be the case in some of those areas hit harder by snow, harder than expected, including us here in Omaha. So a lot of that sunshine will actually go towards melting the snow instead of warming us up. So looks like highs a little bit closer to 46 this afternoon, and then we'll stay in the mid 40s early this evening. Overnight tonight, though, the wind starts to kick up a little bit more. It will fall to about 33 for your morning on Saturday, but then it's going to be windy and warmer tomorrow afternoon. All that sunshine and that warm wind getting us to 64 for the afternoon. A cold front then heads through Sunday morning, which has always been the case when we thought would be weak enough not to drop temperatures too much. It is looking a little bit stronger now, but only going to fall back into the upper 50s. And with the lighter winds, Sunday should still feel really nice outside. Monday, a few more clouds, but highs in the upper 60s. And it looks like we're back to the mid 70s as we go to the middle of the next week. Just a couple very small chances for rain. Courtney?
All right, thank you, Mark. And be sure to download the 3 News Now app for up-to-the-minute traffic, weather, and breaking news. Have a great weekend.